those schools and teachers who fail to attract or hold customers would go out of business, perhaps to start again with a better educational idea. Voucher plans are still relatively novel. No really thorough test has been conducted to see whether they can deliver on these heady promises to districts pioneering voucher plans or Milwaukee or Cleveland. Their plans, however, are limited to low-income, mostly minority families. In Milwaukee, which initiated the voucher plan in 1990, 112 schools currently enrolled nearly 25,000 students in a voucher program with a maximum per-pupil payment of $6,442. A 2013 report from the Public Policy Forum, a non-partisan government watchdog group, found that students in the voucher program performed slightly worse on standardized tests in reading and mathematics, although the voucher schools educate students for less money than the public schools. Cleveland's voucher plan was quickly tested in the course because most of the students choose to use their vouchers for Catholic schools, which raised, and we go to the top of page 380, concerns about whether spending public dollars for students to attend religious schools violates the principle of church and state separation. In 2002, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in a 5-4 decision that Cleveland's voucher plan, which empowers parents to redeem tuition vouchers at a religious or non-religious private school, does not violate the constitutional prohibition against establishment of religion because government aid goes directly to parents who then use it as they please. This decision is interpreted as giving a green light to states to implement school voucher plans to assist students attending failing schools, and more school voucher plans are likely to be implemented. By 2013, 13 states and the District of Columbia have a voucher plan. Of those, 8 states offer vouchers to special needs students. 4 states plus the District of Columbia offer to low-income students or students from failing schools, and 2 other of them to rural students. Louisiana and Ohio have programs for both low-income and special needs students. Some public education critics see the voucher concepts as the savior of education in the United States. Others see it as a plot to undermine both the public schools and their interpretation of the meaning of the separation of church and state. Many politicians who support charter schools oppose voucher plans. They see charter schools as providing choice opportunities to the parents and encouraging school reform efforts while staying within the public education system, but they view voucher plans as draining money from the public schools and delivering those funds to private and religious schools. Vouchers reduce funding indirectly by decreasing public school enrollment, which is one of the factors on which governments base their allocations of money to public schools. Excuse me. Wow. And we'll go to the top of page 381. Opponents of voucher plans have voiced several other objections and concerns to these ventures. They argue that the voucher plans bring false hope to schools of choice because the private schools, not the parents, do the choosing through administrative decisions, and private schools is under the obligation to accept students with vouchers. In some proposals, the vouchers are worth only $1,000 to $2,500 per student, seriously limiting the choices of schools to which these amounts would pay the actual cost of the tuition, citing the fact that vouchers are being used to educate children in religious schools, and in spite of the recent Supreme Court ruling, many still see this use of vouchers as breaching the wall of church-state separation. Many voucher opponents, including the 2 largest teacher unions, suggest that if the voucher plans became widespread, the public schools will lose much-needed revenue and be forced to educate children with great needs whom the private schools will not accept, while lacking the resources to do a good job. Voucher opponents contend that applying market forces in educational institutions doesn't make sense, arguing instead that schools should be driven by the need to serve the public good, not the desire of individuals and corporations to earn profits. These who support voucher plans offer counter-arguments to many of these objections. For example, although funding private and religious schools with public money is very controversial in the United States, it is less contentious issue in many other countries. The United States is one of the few developed nations with such strict limits on parental choice of schools. Many other Western democracies fund private and religious schools with public money, although if these schools accept public money, they usually have to meet a certain conditions or requirement by the government. Voucher supporters also point out that although many people believe U.S. tax dollars fund only public schools, private and religious schools already benefit